Good morning, everyone. Today in Southern California, I'm going to give you a behind the scenes into my skull cleaning operation. I've got tons of stuff to do today, but I've promised you I was going to show you some of the pots, the burners, the gas lines, all the little things that has helped me be more efficient through the years. So let's get started. First things first, you need a skull to get started, and you need to be able to skin that skull and remove a bunch of tissue and hide. I absolutely love this Silverware brand IBK interchangeable blade knife. I still use the Havel or Havalon 70 XTs, and the reason I love this blade so much is because it's sharp and rounded across the tip. Let's start from right here. I'm gonna remove all the excess stuff on this ramp. I get these things and they are notorious for having a big chunk of neck. In order to remove that neck, you're gonna wanna cut until you hit this Atlas joint. Prepped and ready for the boil. The next step is boiling. Now for years I bought propane tanks and turkey fryer cookers, and it just cost so much money to have those tanks refilled, and you would be in the middle of a skull and you would run out. So I ran a gas line off of my forced air unit upstairs right to a quick disconnect. Let me show you what that looks like. I just came out of my vent, then I run a quick disconnect to this burner. This burner is a big multi-jetted job from the Bayou boiler. You guys have seen it. I have been using it for years. I absolutely love it. It's made of stainless. It's plate steel. I've got flat bar for the grill. It is the best investment I've made in the boiling component for sure. Now the pot that I'm so fond of these days, you guys have seen it a while ago. I bought this at a roadside stand in New Mexico, and the brand name is, it looks like this. It's got a big taper top. It's for roasting those hatch chilies and things like that. I love it, and I do 4 skulls at a time, 4 sheep, 4 goats, 4 deer, whatever. 4 of them at a time. It's got those big handles that don't get hot up top. It is just freaking fantastic. So I'm gonna get a fire going real quick, get that pot rolling, get these skulls in it, and then I'm gonna have to do the rest with voiceover because it will be uber loud. As the pot goes to work on the sheep, I'm gonna run you through a few things that I love. This Yeti tank, I believe it's an 85 Yeti tank. Those things are designed for like icing down kegs of beer. They are perfect for hydrating or soaking big, upright, horned or antlered animals like these axis deer. All right, moving through my courtyard, you can see I installed a little outdoor sink with like a little wooden frame. It just kind of drains into my spray area there. I keep some cloth towels there. I keep my forceps on a little hook. All this stuff is real handy to where I'm spraying. I like to be able to fill that sink up and soak those horns when I knock them off before I put them on the dryer. Then I built a little shelf with some soaps, a place to keep my replacement nozzles, dustpan, brush. And this right here has been my saving grace. So I put in a big long piece of trench in between the area that I spray. That lets everything drain off. I catch all the big debris and freeze it. I love it. This little mobile cart here I designed just to put everything inside of and then roll inside that little alcove that you just saw, the spray area. So you can see I have some hangers for my hammers, some tape. I keep a Sawzall, a drill motor for drilling earbuds, all the stuff I would use to wrap antlers, electrical tape, shrink wrap. I keep my Zotes, my soap that I wash with. I keep fire starters, replacement blades, a pair of pliers for pulling tusks. All that stuff goes in that basket, and then the basket inside my big wooden cart, and that has made me extremely efficient, having everything I need right there handy. Another thing you've seen me wear forever, and I love these, is a pair of Carhartt bibbed overalls. These are like rain pants, essentially foul weather gear. I wear them all the time when I'm spraying. I wear extra tough rubber boots, and this just helps from getting all that debris off my lower end, if you will. Saves a little bit of laundry. A big old hose always helps to keep a wet environment. When you're spraying and it's hitting a wet surface, it's much easier to clean up. I ran this right off my main line. You can see there's a bunch of pressure. I recently had a comment from somebody that says, "I live to see how aggressive he is with the garden hose." Wonderful comment. Thank you if that was you. It's important to keep a tidy work environment. Once you've got everything skinned and into the pot, then I like to clean up that whole mess, bag it. You got some time waiting for the boil. Just get everything clean, and the wetter the surface, the better it is for stuff sticking and whatnot. Look at this pot now. It's just now coming to a boil. At this point, I'm just going to reduce the heat. I just want it to simmer. These big ramalays take a lot for knock those horns off. You can see I don't have the entire horn in there. I got most of it, but not all of it. So I'm going to find the littlest skull. I'm going to pull him out, knock his horns off first, cut them. Once I'm done with these 4 sheep, they'll all be able to whiten in this little tiny pot. Spoiler alert, I did something wrong with the camera and I did not show the horns getting knocked off. Oops, that's not important. Once they're off, I want to take those horns and put them in the sink and fill it full of water. Don't let anything fly or get into the inside of the horn. It's a no-no. I like to keep them hydrated till I can wash the inside real good with the power washer and then pull them out, and I put them on a drying manifold. I'll show you that in a minute. While we're here, we might as well do a little skull cleaning. So fire up whatever power washer you're using. I am still figuring out this detail. I am using so many different units, I'm not going to pinpoint one. Take whatever you got and spray into every hole in every orifice. Anywhere there's meat or tissue, make it go away. Let's get to washing. Yes, this particular washer is putting out hot water, and yes, it works very well. Next, I take a screwdriver and I stick it in the ear canal of that sheep, and I pop out the auditory bowl. Then I take a wafer bit or a speed bore bit or any sort of bit, and I wallow out that hole nice and round. If you do this ahead of time, or do it about now, before you ever spray into the brain hole, you will never get brains on your face. So if you knock out these 2 things, spray into the brain hole, it will wash out a beautiful strawberry milkshake and not get you, if you know what I mean. From here, I take a pair of forceps and I go down the nasal canal and I pop out all those nose bones. There's such controversy on this still today. People hate them being gone. If you want them in there, leave them. I don't want them in there because I don't think you can get it clean as a boiler and power washer without removing them. I pull them out, wash inside real good, and then because I'm doing multiples, I like to put this skull in with those horns and keep it hydrated until I'm ready to whiten. Okay, second to last step. I take all those skulls that have been washed and I put them down in a medium-sized pot and I add the Whitebone Creations whitening mix. Now this is a high-strength peroxide and water mixed. Depending upon the skull, gives me my strength. But I'm going to put a gallon for about 7 gallons of water. I'm also going to use some leftover from yesterday, so it could vary. Then I bring that entire thing to a boil, reduce the heat, pull out those skulls, rinse off any excess that's on the skull, and then set it out to dry. From here, I'm just cleaning and bagging. I'm gonna wash the inside of those horns and I'm gonna put them on the drying rack. My drying station consists of a fan blowing cool air on the skulls and a boot dryer that I found on Amazon that it's got like 4 hoses that come out of it and it's designed for drying like wet boots. I made a little PVC manifold, meaning a header pipe and then several outlets. I kind of put it together kind of crude and it blows warm air right up in the inside of that horn core and dries from the inside out. This has saved me everything when it comes to bugs. So I wait till everything is kind of dusty dry, then I slide the horns back on. I am screwing these in place for this particular customer. You can Bondo them on. Then I just put a coat of Mop and Glow on them to seal them up nice and tight, give them a great feel and look. Then I load them in the truck and deliver them and wait for the next batch. Let's recap real quick on what you'll need to do this method of skull cleaning. First, you're gonna need a skull, and then you're gonna need a knife or something to remove all the meat and tissue. Next, you're gonna need a boiler. I love this Bayou boiler, but anything. You could use the cooktop at home, your stove, an oven, whatever. Then you need a pot larger than the skull so you can put it down inside there, and you're gonna need some water. Next, you need a power washer or some tools in order to scrape off the excess meat and tissue. Once it's cleaned, you're gonna need a high-strength peroxide, a little more water, and then you're gonna need a fan to let it dry, or if you set it in the sun, just make sure you're not allowing any bugs to get inside a wet, damp skull. And lastly, you need some Mop and Glow, and be grateful for the skulls in front of you and be proud of the hard work you did. Thanks for watching. Till next time.